Good morning, my dear kids. So in today's class, in the chapter ray optics, so we are going to discuss about the laws of reflection and the plane mirror theory, and some numericals will try to solve. Okay, let me take you to the screen. Okay, today will be in the previous class we had an introduction to previous class we had now the topic, the chapter name is ray optics, and the topic we have reflection at plane surface. In that laws of reflection, plane mirrors is what we are going to focus on. We are going to discuss in today's class. Okay, let me start with the laws of reflection. So the all the mirror, no, let me show by a so I have a plane mirror. It's a mirror, thin mirror. So there's a one we have a practice of showing the mirror like this. It's a plane mirror, and this will be the normal. An incident ray, and this is a reflected ray. Okay, now the angles. Let me adjust this one. So there's the angle of incidence I. This is the normal. This is the incident ray. This is a reflected ray, and this is the angle of reflection. That one. So what is this? I'm writing something. I'm calling this as a plane mirror. Now the question comes: how do this plane mirror will be manufactured? Means how to make the plane mirror. So what I do is like I will take a glass. Let me show some. There's a glass. Let me show the thin glass. On what I do is like I will give the silver or aluminum coating. Okay, silver or aluminum. Let me call this as a silver or aluminum coating. Okay, fine. So this is a thin glass plate. This will be silver or aluminum. Coating. Then here what I do is further after this, I'll go for red oxide coating. Now, who is a reflector? The reflector is it's a thin glass sheet. Why do the thin glass sheet is taken? Thin glass plate is taken. Glass is a transparent material. Glass is transparent material. The silver layer is like a reflector. The silver or aluminum layer is a reflector. For it to what happen, to avoid the scratches for the silver aluminum layer, what happen, we'll go for red oxide coating. Okay, this is what our plane mirror will appear. So, so I think you might have, so this is what the plane mirror will be manufactured here. It's not a perfect reflector because some light will pass through it also. 90% you can say like a reflector here. So let's assume that some ideal case. So all the light incident on the mirror will get reflected. Or else what you can do, you can take silver or aluminum, polish it. So now instead of this, so we can also take a metals, well polished, finely polished aluminum or steel or silver sheets are also treated as, in some applications we do use this one. Huh? Okay, fine. So this is about the plane mirror, how to construct a different plane mirrors. Now I'll drop a normal. So this one, and this will be this surface will be available for reflection. This is unsilvered. This is silvered. So when you take the plane mirror, so what is the representation? So when you yeah, when you take the plane mirror, no, usually it's a bit thin. In the diagram, what happened to show all the things? I'm just showing little bit thick here. This is the silver. Also like a surface. Available for reflection. So here I'll produce a normal and let this be incident ray. And this is a reflected ray. So what the laws of reflection says? First one, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Second law, what it says? The incident ray reflected ray and normal lie in the same plane. Okay, this is what the two basic laws of reflection, what we can call. So, and what is saying, the angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. They're the very fundamental which will be using this one. So the incident ray will come, get reflected. So this angle of incidence, angle of reflection relative to what we should measure with respect to normal. No, not only this, there's a plane surface. So what about the what about the other thing? Now the surface, if it is some, even it is applicable for this. Suppose if this is silvered. Suppose if the surface is like this. Then how we define the laws of reflection? Here the normal will become, here this will be the normal, here this will be the normal. Yeah, we can define in either of way the normal. It's not that it should be like this only. So no, what about the incident ray? This is incident ray, this is a reflected ray. Here that this is incident ray, this is a reflected ray. This will be the incident ray, this will be reflected ray. This will be the incident ray. This will be reflected ray. This will be incident ray. This will be reflected ray. Irrespective of the surface, whether it's a plane or curved surface, still the law of reflection holds good. So what do you mean by that? So this is the theta 1, theta 2, alpha 1, alpha 2, phi 1, phi 2, beta 1, beta 2. Everywhere, at all points, the angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. All these are normal. Okay, this is about the basic idea of the mirror. Again, the reflections, we do have two types of the reflection. One, a regular reflection. The reflected, let me show by other colors. Everywhere, let me show the normal. Okay, there's a normal. So if you look at a parallel beam of light is incident, again the reflected light will be parallel beam of light. So this is called like a regular reflection, or we can also call this as like a specular reflection. So either of words we'll use. So this is the regular and this can happen provided the surface is smooth. If the surface is smooth, this will be, and or you can select it, this ideal case. It's ideal, practically not possible. Regular reflection is not possible. It's an ideal case only for the discussion in classrooms. What happened? We do take that one. All the concepts we build up this. So what all that reflection occurs now, it will be irregular reflection is what practically that will be taking place. The surface usually will be rough. This will be surface. So now let there be, here it's a normal like this. So look at the normal here. And let there be a parallel beam of light incident on this surface. This one. So now the reflected light, angle of incidence should be called angle of reflection. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay, now look at the actually parallel beam of light is incident, but the reflected light you check once. So this is what practically happens. This is called like a irregular or diffused reflection. Okay, what is the difference like? What actually the meaning of this like a regular or specular reflection? So there's an ideal. We do see objects around us because of irregular reflection. The objects around us are visible due to irregular reflection. No, if the regular reflection, what happens is like a sir, we are not understanding. Okay, let's assume that a person is standing in sunlight. A sunlight will be incident on him. Okay, a low color light is what I'm showing it. Then, so another person, or we'll take some any object like some a flower. Let me take it. Okay, there's a red color flower. Okay, let there be a red color flower. And a person is going to weave it. Okay, there's a person is going to weave it. So how this will be visible? So the ray of light, there's a sunlight, which will be incident on this flower. After reflection, when it enters into the eye, then that particular flower is what visible. So when an object will be visible for us, when a reflected light, when that visualization is possible, when the reflected light enter into the eye, then particular object will be visible. So here the sunlight which is incident on the flower get reflected, and when the sunlight enters, when the reflected light enters into eye, the eye will process this and will say that as a red color flower is what I'm seeing is this person. What will be comment from this? This person, red color flower is visible to me. Any reason for that? No, let's assume that in the dark, like completely the midnight, there are no any street lights, nothing is there. Why the same red color flower is not visible? Because what happened, the flower is like a secondary source. It will not emit light of its own. Why the flower is visible? Because the sunlight, when it falls on the flower, and the flower, what happened, will make it to undergo irregular reflection because the surface will be rough. Irregular reflection occurs, and the reflected light, when they enter into eye, human eye, then the human being is going to say that the person is going to say that the flower is visible to me. So what is the surface of flower? Will be rough. So what type of reflection occurs here at the surface of flower? Irregular reflection. So the objects around us, same thing happens in a room. Suppose you are in a room. Why the wall is visible for you? Because the light emitted by sun falls on the wall. After reflection, it enters into it. Then you are able to visualize that wall. Getting the idea? This one. Then similarly, some cupboard, how that cupboard is visible, because light emitted in the night, let's say that the light emitted by the bulb will fall on the cupboard, and the reflected light from the cupboard will enter into, and you are able to visualize that object. There's one basic idea of the visualization. Now, let's see that what all we are able to see the color, petals, everything, no, the details of flower because of irregular reflection. Okay, let's take example like a regular reflection. Let me keep the mirror in sunlight. Let me take the same diagram. So instead of flower, okay, let me introduce here a plane mirror. I'll try to draw the plane mirror. Small plane mirror. Let me make an arrangement here. Yeah. Okay, I think it do appear like a plane mirror. No. When this plane mirror, when the light falls on the plane mirror enters, so is it possible for, so this person, can he make a guess of what is the shape of the plane mirror? Not possible. The reason for that, almost the reflection is similar to like a regular reflection. The person, what he says like, I'm seeing there's a plane mirror. What would be the comment from that person? I'm seeing a glowing object, a shining object, glowing or shining object, glowing or shining. Shining object. So you ask person like, can you say what is the shape of the mirror? He says, I'm no, not possible that one. The reason for that, because the reflection that occurs at the mirror is almost like a regular reflection. Whereas this person is able to say clearly, like the flower, how many petals are there, what is the color, or the details of the flower is able to tell very clearly because irregular reflection. The plane mirror, the reflection, now the sunlight which is incident on plane mirror, it is like a regular reflection because the mirror is almost like a smooth, not perfect reflected still. So the person cannot say that what is the shape of the mirror. Here what this person, red color is visible to me, person can here what is the reflection? The reflection is similar to like I think the diagrams got interchanged. We'll do one thing. Let me rearrange so that confusion will not be there. Yeah. Okay. Now these two diagrams correlate. Able to correlate. The example. So this is what is this yellow color lines? Incident sunlight. Suppose say if I wear a dress, where what happen? It is the dress is properly silvered and it's a very smooth. That one let it be like a made up of the cloth made up of silver, and it's a totally well polished. If I go and stand in sunlight, you may not be able to see my body parts clearly. Means my arms, everything. Altogether, what you can see is like a glowing some sort of object. You may not even able to guess me that I'm a person. Simplest way. The reason for that, because the sunlight when it falls on my that glowing cloth or like a smoothly polished metal cloth, the light will undergo regular reflection. So therefore, the objects around us are visible due to irregular reflection or diffused reflection. Is it that laws of reflection are invalid? No. Only thing is, see, like the same parallel beam of light is incident. Only thing is here, like the normal, this is smooth. Okay, the normal I made oriented vertical. As this is rough, the normal at different places open will be oriented in different direction. So the angle of incidence will be different, and because of this, what will happen? The irregular reflection occurs, and the reflected rays what happen will not be parallel beam. And okay, that's why we are able to notice the different parts of a body. Whereas here, the reflected ray will also be parallel. That's why we are unable to notice the details of the reflecting surface. There's a major difference between these two. Don't say no angle of reflection. In fact, I can, if you want, I can go for theta 1 equal to theta 1, theta 2 equal to theta 2. The laws of reflection is very much valid in both the cases. Don't say that law of reflection is invalid. Law of reflection is in fact valid in both the types of reflection. So what all our syllabus now will focus more on numericals related to this than this one. There's a practical approach, there's a theoretical approach. So to study the plane mirrors, reflection at plane surface, we do take the regular reflection. Not this one. So here a lot of maths will be involved. Here there's no much mathematics will be involved here. Okay, let's study the image formation due to plane mirror. Let me take this as a plane mirror. I'll keep an object. Let me keep an object here. Oh. Or object in sense, let that be flower. There's an object. Okay, no. So what is the method here? How to study the reflection concept here? There's a luminous object, so it will send the rays. It will make the rays either the real object. What is the condition of real object? The rays will be, incident rays will diverge from a point. The point of divergence should be the real object. So I'll send a rays here. Then after reflection, this is very, very, very important, a fundamental. So after reflection, what we see is like, let me indicate the image. The image, let me indicate by other color so that it will be, or also I will take the same red color. This is a real object, and what I get is this is the image. Now the reflected rays, let me show by other color. Now you can ask questions, sir, how you are drawing that ray. So based on the laws of reflection, I'm showing that reflected rays. Okay, this will be the incident ray. And this is reflected ray. So from the laws of reflection, this will be the angle of incidence, say theta 1, theta 1. This will be theta 1. This will be angle of reflection. theta 2, this will be theta 2, this will be theta 2. Angle of incidence should be equal to angle of reflection. Angle of incidence should be equal to angle of reflection. So from the similar triangle, so this is O, the object, real object O. This is called as I. Let this be M1. This point where the second ray strike the mirror, let it be M2. Let me take this is P. So this angle will be theta 1. This angle will be theta 2. So the triangles will be similar. So if you look at the triangle, MPO and MPI are similar triangles. And because of that, what I can write, PO, or yeah, books they preferred M1, no? This is, in the books open they took M. Okay, let me write PO only. So therefore what we can write, PO is equal to PI. What is PO? PO will become object distance. What is PI? Will become image distance. Object distance, this image distance. So for a plane mirror, what will happen? The object distance is equal to image distance. So this angle, sir, now you can ask question like, sir, on what basis you are writing this theta 1? Look at this. If this angle is theta 1, this should be theta 1. If this angle is theta 2, this should be theta 2. Look at the geometry. Theta 1 is angle of incidence of the ray at M1. Theta 2 is angle of incidence of the ray at M2. So if I take this theta 2 is angle of incidence, then this angle should be theta 2. If this angle is theta 2, then this should be theta 2 because the ray is produced back here. From this, what I can conclude that from these two triangles as a similar and M1P is common. So therefore, the PO must be equal to PI. So therefore, for mirror, plane mirror, the object distance will become equal to the image distance. This is very important. I'm saying not displacement, distance. If you stand at a distance of 1 meter, or say like a 2 meter, where your image will be in the plane mirror, 1 meter. At the same distance, 2 meters. Suppose you are at a distance of 2 meter from plane mirror. Your image will be at a distance of 2 meter. Okay, let's come for this one. What is the nature of image? These are the reflected rays. The reflected rays are diverging from a point. So therefore, this image must be virtual. I'm going to write now. So what are these? These are reflected rays. These are incident. Like this, we can trace out an image. Say we should take help of the geometry here, the basic geometry. Now you can ask questions of why you took 2 rays. You can take any number of rays. I think 2 rays will be sufficient. How do we measure object and image distance? Perpendicular to plane mirror. Any condition? U and V are measured perpendicular to surface of a plane mirror. No. So like, can I do by another method? Yes, if you want, you can do by another method. Suppose if I, instead of this is a mirror. Let me keep an object, and the corresponding image will be here. Oh, some other color. Oh, yeah. This will be corresponding image. Then can we trace out the rays by any other method? The incident rays, let me take this one. So one ray like this. After reflection, okay, similarly, just make observation. I'll construct the ray diagram. You can also construct a ray diagram like this. It's not that the two rays should be above the certain horizontal line. So there's a ray 1, there's a ray 2. Need not be symmetric, even this angle of incidence theta 1, theta, or so like let me call theta. This angle will be theta. If this angle is alpha, if the angle of incidence is alpha, this will be alpha. Now whatever this angle will be alpha. This angle will be theta. Now also you calculate PO equal to PI. To construct to trace out image, what happens? Minimum we need to reflect two reflected rays. You can send n number of rays. So 2 rays will be sufficient to construct to trace out an image formation. Why this image should be virtual? Because the image is formed due to diverging reflected rays. And the point of divergence should be position of the virtual image. And why this object is real? Because the incident rays are diverging from a point. The point of divergence should be a real object. So what is the plane mirror? For real object, it will form a virtual image. For real object, it forms a virtual image. And what is the condition? The object distance must be equal to image distance. There's a one very, very fundamental thing that one. And how object and image distance are measured? Normal to the surface of a plane mirror. So what is the conclusion? A plane mirror. I'll show both the situations. A plane mirror forms virtual image for real object. Similarly, let's take other situation. For virtual object, for real object, virtual image. For virtual object, what would be the nature of the image formed by the plane mirror? Okay, there's a plane mirror. What do you mean by virtual object? The rays appear to converge, the incident rays appear to converge at a point. The point of convergence should be the position of the real image. Okay, no. So what is this? This is the incident ray. And what's happening at incident ray? They're appearing to converge at a point. Okay, this will be now virtual object. Let me apply the laws of reflection. From the laws of reflection, if applied, finally the reflected rays converge at a point, and the point of convergence will be a position of real image. Now also you check it. PO will become equal to PI. So plane mirror, what it does? Plane mirror forms a real image for virtual object. And I think these are some very fundamental thing which will help you a lot in understanding. So what is the conclusion of plane mirror? For real object, virtual image. For virtual object, it form real image. Okay, now we'll take the next condition. What about the magnification? Means what about the magnification condition? So there's a plane mirror. Let me keep an object, extended object, let me keep it. Okay, this is A, this is B. So the height of the object, that will be HO. It is at a distance, say like a X, where the image will be formed. How we have to draw the ray diagram to show exactly the image of this. I think this you have to stick on to the basic laws of reflection. There's no other way. We have to draw the ray diagram. Through ray diagram is what we should analyze. There's no other method available. Actually, what happened? Everything should be done with help of ray diagram only. Let me adjust this. I think this is what the come for this one. How to show that? So I know that roughly the object distance should be equal to image distance. So where the image will be formed. Let me show the image. So the image will be formed. A dash, B dash, and the height of the image is HI, and it will be at a distance X only. So can you show by ray diagram? How I should understand? Okay, should I accept things blindly? No, you can do one thing. The ray diagram I'll show by the red color one. The ray emitted by B after reflection, A dash, no, this is, okay, I think this is A, this is B. Okay, the ray emitted by A after reflection, oh, colors, where's the red color? Here. Will be like this. So I need one more ray. Angle of incidence, I think I'm finding very difficult to get the geometry part clearly. Yeah. This is corresponding to the point A, that one. So if I extend back, I'll get it here. So now I'll go for solid lines. This is the incident ray after reflection. We'll get like this. Then this is the incident ray after reflection. We'll get like this. Okay, sir, what about the B? For B, can you show the ray diagram? It's the same similar approach. From B, what happened? Let ray be incident at some point on the screen. Then after reflection, we'll get here. Then you pick up one more ray. Then produce back those two rays. See, everything, what will be the type of the image, what will happen, what will be the type of the object, you can, the position of the image can be found by whom? By the ray diagram. No, you need not to remember. Only thing is you should take care of the basic geometry and you should predict the ray diagram. So finally, what I can conclude here, the image will be here. Look at the image. Image is formed by the diverging reflected rays. Diverging reflected rays. So therefore, this is the image. This object. Again, there's a real object and there's a real image. And if you calculate the distance, this is M1, M2. Also, let me write only M. So again, if you calculate BM, MB is equal to MB dash. So object distance is in fact equal to image distance. What will be the height? HI in fact equal to HO. So will it be magnified? No magnification. The plane mirror will not produce the magnification. What is the conclusion? The plane mirror will not produce any magnification. Means if a person of height, so like a 5 feet, 6 feet stand in front of plane mirror, what will be height of his image in the plane mirror will be same. So magnification, plane mirror, magnification of plane mirror. Shall we put unity? Magnification is unity. No, let me take another case. Lot of diagrams are there. It will take more time to draw the diagram. On board, okay, but here, since we have a colors, no, so I'm trying to show the using different colors for your benefit. If you don't want any color, okay, I can draw a plain diagrams. Okay, this is the object. I kept it here. What about its image? Color of image will not change. Only to show the difference between object and image, I'm using different colors. Object distance should be equal to image distance. So where the image will be formed at the same distance. I do have option. Okay, my job done very easily. So object distance is in fact equal to image distance. A dash, B dash will write it. And again, MA equal to MA dash, MB is equal to object distance equal to image distance. So what will be the length of the object? So if this is the length of the object, there's a length of the image. So what is the conclusion? Li is equal to Lo. No change in length. There won't be any magnification. I mean, sir, like I'll if you keep object in this direction, if the orientation, if you change it, let me take another condition. If there's a mirror, space, let me save things. If the object is oriented, somewhere let me bring like this. Then what about the image? Again, the image will have orientation. We will have some, the image will be, whatever the inclination will be same. O is object, O is image, there's an image. There's an object. Any reason for that? Because object distance equal to image distance. So here also the conditions are same. There's a real object, there's an image. Object is red color. The image is what? Green color we are showing. And there's a plane mirror. This will be theta. This will be 2 theta. No thing. Again, sir, how do you can say ray diagram? Send a rays, incident rays after reflection, corresponding to A, A dash, corresponding to T, B, B dash, corresponding to this tip. You get the orientation. So now even if the object is inclined at an angle theta with respect to this plane, so with respect to this plane, then also the image will have same orientation. Okay, next condition. So I'll keep that flower. Where is the flower? Flower is here. What about the position of image? Look at the flower where I placed somewhere below the edge of the mirror. No, there are 2 edges are there. There's upper edge M2, the lower edge M1. How come like a year the rays, they're not incident on mirror? No, they are incident on the mirror. You send a rays like this. After reflection, the rays will diverge from a point. The point of divergence will be the position of the image. So here, if you extend, some other colors, no, again it will be, yeah. This will be incident ray. This will be the incident ray. After reflection, we'll get a condition here. Look at the both the rays, they are diverging from a point. So this will be the position of the flower, where the flower will be. Color will not change. The red color flower will appear red color only. To make note, to show difference between object and image, I'm giving different color for the object and image one. So this is a object. This is a image. So again, if you calculate this distance, object distance is in fact equal to image distance. This object distance that is in fact equal to image distance. So how we should measure? We should always the object distance should be measured normal to the plane mirror. So don't measure, this is not object distance. This is the object distance and this will be image distance. One more example. Suppose by chance if the orientation of mirror is Okay, here is what the object is kept. What about the position of image? What is that? So like I'll draw an horizontal line. Then this should be the position of the image. No, the answer is no. This will be wrong idea. Because how you measure what is the object distance? This is not object distance. This is the object distance. How you should measure object distance? Normal to the plane mirror. So object distance cannot be. So it is not, this distance is not measured normal to the plane mirror. So this should be the object distance. So now we'll make a correction. Okay, this is the object distance. Corresponding that this will be image distance. The way the image should be formed here. In fact, real or virtual will be virtual. Okay, this will be wrong. So I'll take it out. Can we show this by ray diagram? Can we show all these things by ray diagram? Yes. Again, we'll proceed in similar way. A ray incident. Let me take this incident ray. After reflection will diverge from the point I. Then you send one more ray. After reflection, it will diverge. Okay, we are just taking help of the basic ray diagram. That's why I say the chapter name itself we are calling the ray optics. Again, if you go and measure MO is equal to in fact MI. So how that object and image distance should be measured? Always they should be measured normal to the plane mirror. And now if the object is placed on the x-axis AB and the mirror is inclined at an angle 45 degrees, it's a plane mirror, it's not a line, it's a plane mirror. How the image formation will be? So what we know is like this OA is not object distance. Let the origin be. OA is not object distance. The object distance will be measured normal to the plane mirror. So this should be the object distance. Similarly, corresponding to B, this should be the object distance. And the object distance should be equal to image distance. So you just take help of some vertical lines, drop a normal like this. Corresponding to that, you locate the image. Let me drop it. Okay, fine. This is so now here you are going to bring the image. This will be the image. So corresponding to this will be A dash, this will be B dash. If this is X, this will be X, this will be Y, this will be Y. Sir, what is the reason why the object will be oriented along y-axis from these two triangles? If this is 45, this will be 45, and this will become similar triangle. Okay, that one. If this is 45, this length will be common. This side will be common for both the triangles. If the distance is OA, then this OA dash should be equal to A. Of course, in the diagram will not appear, but practically it will be equal to. So what is the mathematical things? OA is equal to OA dash. OB equal to OB dash. So therefore, what we can write it as like, and what is the primary idea? The object distance should be equal to image distance. So M1A should be equal to M1A dash. M2B should be equal to M2B dash. So A dash B dash equal to AB. Again, the idea is same. No magnification means irrespective of the object orientation in front of plane mirror, the plane mirror will not form any magnification. Means there won't be any change in the image processed by the plane mirror. No, there'll be a lateral inversion. There'll be lateral inversion. What do you mean by lateral inversion? How to justify that lateral inversion? Suppose if there's a plane mirror, a person standing or okay, let me take a person only. So he will wave is, he will lift is, he will lift is, he will rise is right arm. What about the other arm? Other arm will be down. How is image? Is image will be okay. Is holding some. Let's make some condition. Is holding some balloon. Is holding some fruit. Apple fruit. We'll put it. And he'll be holding that apple fruit here. Now there's a real person. There's a person. There's a plane mirror. And there's a, what is this? This one is the image. So if you look at the person, the real person, what when real person is holding apple in right hand. Person in the plane mirror or image of person is holding apple in left hand. This is called like a lateral inversion. So plane mirror produces lateral inversion. So you stand in front of plane mirror, you move your right arm in mirror. In mirror, your image will be moving the left arm. Hope I think this everyone can experiment. Nothing is there. So for him, this is the right arm. This is the left arm. For him, this is the right arm. This is the left arm. And to show this a mirror, no? So you may think something, some photograph or something. No, in fact, it's a mirror. Okay, this is about the okay, now we'll take the laws of reflection of light in vector form. So what earlier we had is some sort of like a, in a simple case, suppose if a light is incident on a plane mirror where the plane mirror lies in a space, then in what action the reflected ray will be in that particular space. So now going back to the with basic coordinate geometry, that numerical solving will be very difficult. So what is the alternative suggestion like? So let's go for the law of reflection of light in vector form. This one. So let me define an unit vector in the direction of incident ray. What is the unit vector E2 cap? Direction of, it will be directed in the direction of reflected light. So what is E1 cap? Unit vector directed along incident ray. What is E2 cap? Unit vector directed along reflected ray. We know it's a unit vector, so what should be the magnitude? Magnitude of unit vector should be equal to 1. Okay, let me define the E1 cap. E1 cap. So angle of incidence must be equal to angle of reflection. So from that idea, no, we'll define this. So this angle should be theta. Then this angle should be theta. So what is E1 cap? E1 cap, we can represent it as mod of E1 sine theta t cap minus of mod of E1 cap cos theta n cap. Okay, now a few things. So what are t cap and n cap? N cap is a unit vector along normal. T cap will be unit vector that will be directed tangential to the plane of a mirror. Tangential to surface, tangential to the plane of mirror, T cap. What about n cap? Unit vector directed normal to the plane of mirror. I think I'm showing in the diagram. No need to write separately. N cap, T cap. Or okay, we'll define that also. Unit vector directed normal to the plane of mirror. What about T cap? Unit vector directed tangential to the plane of mirror. Okay, let me define this E1 cap. The direction of E1 cap is like this. So a component of this, its horizontal component. So E1 sine theta, this direction is given T cap. E1 cap cos theta will be along minus n cap. This one. So after simplifying this further, magnitude of E1 cap should be 1. So this will become sine theta T cap cos theta n cap. Similarly, we'll take the E2 cap. So E2 cap, mod of E2 cap should be equal to E2 sine theta T cap plus E2 cap cos theta N cap. Sine theta T cap cos theta N cap. Let me take the difference of these two. E2 cap when I take the difference of these two, I'll get it as 2 cos theta N cap. Take the let's take the difference of these two equations. Sine theta cap gets eliminated. Cos theta N cap minus cos theta N cap will be 2 cos theta N cap. 2 cos theta is the magnitude, N cap is the direction it is. So further simplifying this will become E2 cap equal to E1 cap plus 2 cos theta N cap. Let me take the dot product of E1 cap and N cap. Even the mod of, because all these are unit vectors, no? So this should be cos of, what is the angle between E1 cap and N cap? Should be 180 degrees, 180 minus pi or pi minus theta. Dot product, A bar dot B bar should be equal to AB cos theta. What is the angle between N cap and E1 cap? 180 minus theta or pi minus theta. Let me show the vector diagram. It will be easier. This is N cap. This is E1 cap. This is the angle theta. So what can be this angle? Pi minus theta. So what is the dot product? Angle between A bar dot B bar should be equal to A mod of A plus mod of B cos of angle between those two vectors. Angle between E1 cap and N cap is not theta, in fact pi minus theta from the mathematics. So E1 cap dot cap, this should be equal to 1. Cos of 180 minus theta minus cos theta. Shall I go and keep that cos theta term there, substituting that? So E2 cap, so let me write this equation 1, 2. Put 2 in 1. Then E2 cap, E1 cap, 2. Cos theta will be, so this is the vector form of the law of reflection. So if you know the normal and if you know the direction of incident, you can predict the direction of reflected. That's a very simple. If you know the normal for a plane mirror and if you know the direction of incident, you can, with this E2 cap, you can predict the direction of reflected ray. Gives the gives the direction of incident ray. Gives or indicates anything. I think there's a very best formula available to deal with the three-dimensional problems related to law of reflection. Really, this is going to help us a lot. Suppose a mirror is suspended in a space, then normal to that particular plane is what n cap will come. And I know the direction, unit vector directed along incident ray. With the help of that, I'll get the direction of the reflected ray. This is one advantage of this particular formula. Okay, we'll take one numerical related to this vector form of law of reflection. Okay, let me take the question. Area of light is incident on the YZ plane mirror along a unit vector E1 cap is equal to I plus J plus K by root 3. Find the unit vector along the reflected ray. This has to be determined. The same set of formula what we had. So what was the formula? E2 cap is equal to E1 cap minus 2 in which plane the mirror is lying in YZ plane. So definitely what should be the normal? The normal should be along I cap. So N should be the I cap. Because the reason for that, the mirror lies in YZ plane. So therefore the normal vector should be perpendicular to the plane of mirror. Okay, I agree with this. So therefore the N cap should be along, it should be equal to along I cap, that one. Okay, let me substitute all the formulas one by one. Nothing is there. First we'll calculate E1 cap dot N cap. We'll see what we'll get it. The product of these two. So I cap by root 3 dot I cap. I dot I will be 1 by root 3. J dot I dot I will be 1. J dot I will be 0. K dot I will be 0. So what is the resultant? Will be only 1 by root 3. This one. So substituting this value here, this will be I cap by root 3, J cap by root 3, K cap by root 3, minus of 2. This will be 1 by root 3. Now, what is the value of N cap? Should be I cap. So 1 minus, so this will be 1 by root 3 I cap. Okay, this is a direction of reflected ray. Directed along the reflected. Tell me, is this formula approach is easier, or you really want to go back to the basics, like means you are going to calculate angle made by E1 cap with the normal, then you calculate angle of incidence, then apply laws of angle of incidence equal to angle of reflection. Then from there again, you should bring the direction cosines. With the help of direction cosines, you should define E2 cap. Very, very, very difficult. Everything is just simplified with the help of this formula. So hope if you can remember such formulas, they'll be very useful for you in exams. It will be very useful. So definitely I feel like memory should be a part of your preparation. So what all you study, try to remember. You may forget, so periodically revise it, so that will become memory. So by the time you go to the exam, see that most of the things what you should be able to remember comfortably. So in exam, this will be added advantage for you if you know this formula. such numericals you can solve within a less interval of time. If you don't know this formula, really you have to struggle. It will take maybe 15 minutes, more than around 10 to 15 minutes. So make a practice of trying to remember the content which you have come across. We know after 1 month you'll forget. Okay, periodically try to revise it so that they'll become permanent memory. You should try your level best to recollect things.